Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Talent Blog. This is the first edition for Go Career Compass. I'm Lisa Strahs-Lorenc. I am a career counselor and I'm an author. And the reason for the Talent Blog is to highlight new careers or ongoing careers that have great opportunities for people. So I am thrilled to welcome Herlema Owens. We met at the HIA trade show, and as soon as she told me what she did, I said, "You've got to be on my Talent Blog." So she is the president and founder of the Association of Women Construction Workers of America. This is great for women. And she's also a principal consultant and a public speaker. So I can't wait to learn about you, your career, and your story. Halima, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I really am honored.
Sure.
Um,
Sure.
I look forward to it.
Sure. All right, let's start a little bit about you. I'd like to learn a little bit about what you want to be when you were a child and how that changed as you grew up. Interesting stories. I'm sure we all have interesting stories. So why don't you let
Yes.
us know a little bit about you?
Well, actually, growing up, I wanted to be a socialite. I watched all the black and white shows that the women out at the balls and having fun and doing exciting things, meeting exciting people. And I was like, "Ooh, I want to do that when I grow up." But as a kid, I played with Tonka trucks. And played with my brothers and always got in trouble for being out there with the boys and playing in the dirt. I even have childhood war wounds on my legs from the Tonka trucks. To grow up to actually be one, a model. Two, yeah, I watched my mother, so I wanted to do that too. Two, actually a socialite in my own little right because I love to network, and really be around people and find out what's going on and how we might be able to do things a little different than they did back in those movies, though, right? And then three, I got into construction. Who would have known? Playing with Tonka trucks, one of my favorite things.
How did you enter the industry?
Um, Quite disappointingly, I must say. I was in hair school at the time, and one of the young ladies that I had partnered with as in hair school, you had to partner up with somebody, you do competitions and things like that. And then, but her brother-in-law was actually the head of a coalition, the African American Coalition of the Bronx, Charles Pitts, and they found out that at the time that I had had my last child, that my husband was murdered, and they knew I was by myself, three kids, and they were, "You're going to work." Now, personally, when they said you're going to work, I thought I was going into a beauty salon because my goal was to do hair for the sick and shut in. It was always the thing, just from other experiences that I saw growing up, that was the part that I wanted to play in the hair salons, actually going out. And it ended up being a construction site. And I was like, I went kicking and screaming. This is not me. Look at me. I model, I do hair, I do makeup. I'm not going out there dirty jeans and a t-shirt, and lo and behold, I went out there the first day in a pair of clean jeans and a clean t-shirt and couldn't wait to get them dirty. Couldn't wait. I loved it, and I'm still in it.
Wow. Now, how many years ago was that?
I came in. Oh, let me tell y'all something now. Don't do the math, okay? Because I always say I'm 21, but I've been in construction almost 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah, almost 40 years. I'm retired from Local 731. I was a union girl. I'm union through and through. But I haven't given it up. I just haven't given it up. So yeah, I did my 30 years in the industry, got my retirement, and here I am today being able to do this, giving back through an organization that I started. So with that, I started the Association of Women Construction Workers of America. And that was to advocate for women in construction like myself for the things that we didn't know we should have had because I didn't know when I got in. Things that we needed to know that we could do, couldn't do, should do, don't do,
Mhm.
what's expected of you and what you should expect of the industry. and how well the industry would treat you if in fact you did what it took for you to prosper in the industry. Not
Wow.
waiting on the industry, because there are sad stories too. Trust me, they're real. I don't want to make anybody think it was all, cookies and cream, but it depends on what your attitude towards it is will make it that cookies and cream, if that's what you're looking for.
Now let's talk about entry level. So how do you start? And how'd you start?
Well, I started, like I said, through an actual coalition, which is traditionally for a lot of Black and Brown people, right? Especially Black women and men to get into the industry when I started in the 80s, right? So I started in the 80s that way. I was a double minority. It was the easiest way. I wasn't thinking about getting in, but that's how most people got in. Now it's going straight into the union. It's coming into an pre-apprenticeship program like my own, right? Building success with AWCWA, and then being able to understand the industry and being placed into the proper union that you would like to be into. And so we are able to actually give you the foundation that it takes to be involved in construction, being involved in a union, and through a pre-apprenticeship program. And then you go into the union's apprenticeship program. And that can be anywhere from 4 to 5 years. And in that, you'll actually end up with an associate's degree as well.
Oh, wow.
That's how you start.
Wow. So are there any requirements to start?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Getting into the pre-apprenticeship program with AWCWA, we just ask that you can, as a union would, ask that you can read and write at a 7th to 9th grade level to start with. That's just basics. But if you're getting into like carpentry, electrical, plumbing, you need to know pre-cal. Math is very important throughout this industry. Knowing how to read a ruler is definitely needed, within the industry. Measure twice, cut once, that sort of thing, right? And so you need that. You need a high school diploma or GED to get into the actual unions, right? So where my organization might say, hey, come on in as you are. Well, we try to line ourselves up with, like, for instance, when we first got started, we were in a state university. So if somebody didn't have a GED or a diploma, we could actually help them get it through the state university. So we look for partnerships like that we don't have to tell you no because of that. We can help you get that and get into construction as well. So, but it is required once you get past our gates that, hey, listen, you got to have it. So work on it either before you come to us or while you're with us, and then go ahead and get into the local union. You need your driver's license. You need a state ID, things like that. You need to
So
be at least.
the importance of the math and all, are those regular high school classes, or those could be post high school? The
Oh, there could
calculus.
be regular high school
Okay.
classes with pre-cal,
Okay.
in it, because that is something you're going to have to do. And even in our program for construction, we actually do, math is one of our major components to our programs. Yeah, they
Nice.
have it.
So how does this associate then program work? Could you tell us more about that?
Under a pre-apprenticeship program?
Yes.
Well,
Mhm.
pre-apprenticeship programs work for apprenticeship programs because they're able to help an individual who's thinking about getting into construction be clear about the area of construction they're getting into. Now, most of our pre-apprenticeship programs, they focus on the trade specifically, which we do as well. And that's getting them into a local union because we're all union first, right? We believe in that. Your security is in your union. You want to build union strong. So we believe in that first and foremost. But then when we started our program, we started it by knowing what else was out there also, with being the engineer assistants or document control specialists or environmental scientists. So we've had graduates come out and enter into those areas of construction as well, right? Which are non-union jobs, but are definitely needed. In this upcoming a cycle of construction, you need to know about offshore wind, PV, EV, you need to know about solar. So you need to know about all of these things. And so we've already jumped into that pool to say, hey, we want to be able to teach you those things as well. And then even on the certificate side of construction, you need certificates going on to sites and going into things. So as a pre-apprenticeship program, we actually give you those certificates through training, right? So we are a direct entry provider for New York State Department of Labor, to enter into the unions. And we're also a course provider for DOB for you to get your SST cards as well. Right. So, and then there are other things on our horizon to help you get into contracting and things like that, because we do get different individuals who might already have experience that they're not starting from scratch, but they're trying to redevelop or even get into a different area. So we're able to help them with that, and then recommend like a different organization for contractors, for instance, to get them into the contracting field. So moving for us, we just believe in moving right along, moving right up. Don't stop your education here. Keep it going. Get into the union and get that formal, real training for the trade that you choose: electrical, carpenter, plumbing, even surveying. All of those things. Get that, and then you're able to, go right ahead and move on to the next level. And that's what we're
It's
looking.
great. Are there costs involved in these programs?
As a pre-apprenticeship program under the state of New York, for the attendee, no. But we're sponsored. We look to be sponsored. We look for sponsorship at all times. We're a not-for-profit, girl. We're always asking for money. Let me let your audience know. We are always looking for money to educate it for a better and for a workforce. So just so that they know. So no, it is no cost for the participants. What we do tell the participant, though, so that they don't just think they're there sitting for free, and then not being active as they should, that you just received a scholarship from a sponsor, right? So this sponsor has sponsored you to sit in this seat, and this, because this program does cost, it just doesn't cost you.
Nice.
And that's most important.
Very nice. Now, what about the opportunities for growth?
Well, the opportunities for growth goes with actually elevating and continuing your education. As I said earlier, getting into the unions, you automatically come out with an associate's degree. You can go on for a BA. Some of them will help you with that as well, and get into your master's and so forth and so on. We actually encourage college, right out of our program sometimes too, depending on the area. Like I said, somebody wants to be an engineer, then, hey, listen, you need to go to college, right? You need to go to college. Fortunately enough, like one of our events is going to be over at City Tech, so we're going to be pushing that kind of thing. We've been pushing it the whole time, that you don't just stop, at the job. You continue your career going through college and any other means, although we do understand everybody's not going to college. That's why we're here, right? The other thing with the career growth is that they're able to open up their own businesses after a certain amount of time. If you're starting fresh, I always say this is your first step into your next step into your life, right? This is a life of growth. This is a life that you're creating your career from, right? And so if you take those necessary steps, ladder, right, and get onto the landing, you'll be exactly where you want to be, and there's an endless growth here. It's endless growth in construction. There's so many different things and ways you can actually go. So growth is something that a person that's getting involved should always be looking forward to. Becoming a foreman, becoming a supervisor, becoming, an owner, all those things, that's what you should be doing from the day that you decide that this is what you want to do. And we go into elementary schools, we go into junior high schools, right? We started in a state university, as I said, letting people know this is a way to get started. And there's so much more that construction has to offer. Matter of fact, there is nothing you can do in life that doesn't include construction. Nothing.
That is so great, because people aren't introduced to this enough. And it's
Correct.
so important that they see these opportunities. Is there a typical age that it seems to be more common to go into this field? Is it like right out of high school, or is it more in the 20s and 30s? Sort of what do you see?
Well, it is usually older by the time someone in the 20s, like by the time somebody realizes it. But what we try to do by going into the earlier, going into like the schools from elementary up to high school, is to let them know that this career is there and what different facets of it is out there, right? So a lot of schools will have a career day. We're open for career days. Call us. We'll bring a whole team of different types of construction workers, both females and males, but we focus on females, y'all, because
Yes,
we want women to get into
yes,
this industry.
we do.
This is the best industry for women. I mean, there's so many areas you could go into. You don't have to dig a ditch.
Right.
You don't have to lift a shovel or hit a hammer. There's so many areas. If you go to a trade show, you see women out there working for companies at the trade shows. If you go on a site at one of these airports, you see women out there managing this, owning these businesses, being the laborer that I was on these sites, right? I've done so many projects out here that I'm proud to go by. And that's another thing that I'm proud to go by, that I actually did, that I could tell my kids, my grandkids, my great grandkids, hey, I did that. I was a part of that. I helped to build that. And so can you.
I love that. Love that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about money because everybody always asks. So let's talk about the money and the ranges, sort of entry level and as you grow more and more. I mean, everybody wants to know. So give us a synopsis of that.
Well, I love it because most people don't pay attention to workforce money, right? In this industry, they always pay attention to contracts, billions of dollars going up, millions to billions of dollars, right? But in the workforce, there are hundreds of thousands of dollars going out here, right? So as a pre-apprentice, you're learning, you're getting a scholarship. That's your first got right there, your first get. Somebody paid for you to get into a pre-apprenticeship program, right? So you're in there. Your next one is going into the union as a apprentice. An apprentice, there are several different levels depending on the type of union you go into. So you might have 3 years in a labor union, and each year your salary goes up. So I'm just going to guess at this, and I wish I would have had the exact numbers for this year, but somewhere around $22-25 to start. And then I think, like in our labor, we're almost at $45 an hour as a journeyman. So you're going to go into different levels of dollars and cents, right? And now electricians get a different salary, much, much more than that. And what I like to do with my students is have them go look it up. Go to New York State Department of Labor for the apprenticeships and look at what they have listed. They'll tell you right there what it's worth. But the one thing I will tell you, on top of you doing your own research with them to find out what union pays what at an entry level, going up to a journeyman's level, and it's a big difference with insurances and benefits to go with it. The thing I will say is, do not pick your career on your dollars and cents. Please do not do that. Pick your career on your love for what you like doing. When you see what they offer, pick your career on the benefits that it has for you, not on the money you make, because you can make the most money and hate your job and don't do a well enough job and don't even advance yourself in your career. But if you pick a career that you love, even if the money is low, but you love it, you're going to do well and you're going to prosper, believe it or not. You're going to prosper more with less dollars because of the benefits that it's going to offer you than you would if you got the dollars, and you'll be a much happier person for it.
You're absolutely right. I've seen plenty of people who make lots of money and hate what they do. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the
So
truth.
pick
Um,
it for the love, not for the money. You'll get the money in the end.
that's the truth. And there are benefits, right? I'm sure there are a
Correct.
lot of union benefits as well.
Correct. So benefits are very good in the unions. They all are different. Every union is different, from a carpenter, electrical, plumber, laborer. They're all different. right? They all offer different ways. I love the electrical union for when they used to have their B fund, and they would have you have it so that you would be able to have time off so the next person could work, which means they kept their people in rotation. They kept them working. Everybody worked in their union. My union, we have a union hall, plus we can shape our own jobs, which means that we can go out and find a job. It could be something working on the Van Wyck Expressway, and we happen to be ready for work that day and go up to a super foreman or a hiring foreman or a hiring supervisor and say, hey, listen, I'm here to work. Is there room for me? And it works like that sometimes. Things are actually changing the way that they do things, but that used to be the easiest way to get on a job. And, you would work, you see, but that's the laborers. Plumbers didn't have a hall. They had to go out and shape, right? And let me go back to the hall thing. The hall is like the electricians have a hall. So they don't go out and shape. They don't have to, right? So the union itself finds them work. They send them to work. They work until they're furloughed, and then they relax for a few minutes, get rejuvenated, and go back to work. Plumbers, they have to shape. They do not have a hall for shaping. Um, they go out, they find their own work. They let the hall know that they have it, and that's that. And then laborers like myself, we have both. We have a hall that will call us, but we can also go out and shape. So every union is different, just like every salary base is different. Every benefit is different, but they all have them. Some of them have vacation funds. Our union, we didn't have a vacation fund, but we have annuity and supplemental funds. So we have funds to take vacation. And what I suggest to anybody that's working in construction, set your vacation up on your downtime. Never take downtime while you can still be working, because you never know. This is the one industry that we work ourselves out of a job, believe it or not. We literally work ourselves out of a job. And we get to turn around and look at the job and say, we did that. Okay.
Yeah. Now you have several events coming up. I wanted you to name them and describe them. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, good soul. Thank you so much for that.
Sure.
So we have navigating the intersection of employment and education for workforce in the future, for future readiness. And that is July the 11th from 5:30 to 7:30. It's going to be at Rochdale Village Community Center in Queens. We have a great panel coming up. For that, we have the next one is going to be in August 8th. It is how does AI play a part in work for construction workers and contractors? We have September the 12th, which is workforce and, workforce education on clean energy in the funding opportunities for construction, right? That's going to be at City Tech. And then we are October 10th. We are doing a spotlight on major projects in New York City and state in the area of clean, green, renewable energy for construction jobs. So this is all about workforce. And then November being apprenticeship month, November 14th, we are going to be exploring the dynamics of unions, non-union apprenticeship and pre-apprenticeships in New York State, and developing that as an actual expo to bring all the other ones together on that day to be able to have individuals to come out and network. Now, this is the AWCWA Business Workforce and Business Development seminar series that we do every year. We did it last year. We do it 5 months out of the year, July through November. We started it last year to set up an information pool and the ability for workers to meet contractors in a more relaxed area. and just network, just talk to each other, find out what they're doing, what's coming up, and what a contractor may be looking for. Well, what happened that last year was not only were we able to get carpenters jobs and superintendents jobs and contractors with other contractors to do joint ventures, and contractors with GCs to work under as subcontractors. All these things were happening last year. It was phenomenal. We really had a good time with that, and decided we wanted to do it again this year, but add that little educational part and have panels. So each one of these this year, from July to November, we'll have a panel discussion. We'll be talking about workforce and business development through the renewable energy, AI, and the different things that are going on, funding and all these programs that are out here, other pre-apprenticeship programs we're hoping will come on board. Unions, we hope they'll come on board that we work with. We did talk to the Department of Labor, so it looks promising. So, we want to, all of this is to be able to set a career path for those who are looking to get into construction, a way that they can do it that's non-traditional as it may be. We are, as women, in a non-traditional career. And so to be able to put that out there and say, hey, come into these rooms, these people are here for you. We want to be able to do the same thing we did last year and more, by educating them on what's happening in the future of construction through AI, through renewable and clean energy, offshore winds, and things of that nature.
Excellent. Excellent. Is there a cost to attend these workshops, conferences, meetings?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
Wow. This is so amazing. I don't know how many people know about this, and this is so important. Give us some contact information so that when this goes out, people can contact you and all. Go ahead.
Okay, well, thank you for that. They can email at info@awcwa.org, and they can call 646-820-7754. For more information, I'll repeat both of those again. It's info@awcwa.org, and they can call us at 646-820-7754 for more.
Great. And there's a website, I assume, as well?
Yes, our website is always under construction. I actually are literally having it rebuilt behind the scenes. I want to give a shout out to Long Island. It's a Long Island group out there. Oh, but that's doing it. You might be familiar with them out there. We actually, at that same event, let me give that event a big up, okay? Because just like we met at that same event, I put my business card into a pool to have my website rebuilt. I didn't think anything of it because I knew I needed one, though. I had been saying the whole time, I need a website. I need a website. And lo and behold, if I didn't get a call from Oceanside, Long Island, oceansidelocal.com. That's who it is, oceansidelocal.com. Okay. I won a website rebuild, and they're literally, as we're speaking, rebuilding my website.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so that nice. Was really awesome, as well. So I'll just put that out there because it was a win. And this has been a win. I want to thank you so much.
No, I want to thank you. Much. So let's just recap. Why pick this career and this industry?
Why pick it? Because it's the best industry out there. It's related to everything that's surrounding it, and it's nothing that gets built without it. And if you start from a great foundation, you can't have anything but a perfect build.
That's true. And there's even jobs in the industry, correct?
Oh, jobs all over. I mean, listen about construction. This is one thing about construction, right? It will never go. We will build and perish, go back to the earth, but construction will continue to grow. there's been construction before us, there's construction now, but there's construction is always on the go. So as we are in Go Career Compass, I must say that would be the compass points to construction.
That's
Please
great.
consider it as your career.
Yeah, Halima, I am so glad to have met you. It's just such a great opportunity. I'm always looking for opportunities. People ask me all the time, so what should I go into? What should I do? And so many of them have no direction, and they go to something that really has no future. And here we're talking about great opportunities.
So they can reach out to the Association of Women Construction Workers of America, AWCWA. We have an educational program which is called Building Success with AWCWA, which is a pre-apprentice construction, safety, security, it's technology, green energy, and professional service training programs. We put all of that in because our ultimate goal for AWCWA's programs are to be a vocational school. That is our end goal, is to have everything that it takes that any one person could ever need to build a career and move forward in their life. That's our goal for them,
That's
in
perfect.
essence.
And how lucky were you, huh? To get dragged over to some site, construction site, and start something way different from where you thought you'd be, right?
Oh, absolutely. I literally just knew I was going to be the socialite. I wanted to be out all the time, hanging out with the. And to be honest with you, I used to have those long cigarette holders back in the day, you know. It's, oh, I just knew that was going to be me, you know. But no, I turned out to be a construction worker. I loved it, love it still. I miss it sometimes being out there physically doing the thing. But hey, you got to pass this stuff on. You know, you can't keep it all for yourself. I'm not dying with any of it. I'm giving it all away. All you got to do is ask. My hand is raised. Do you have any questions? Ask for it and you shall receive.
Good for you, Herlema. It is such a pleasure speaking to you. And I really appreciate you reaching out to everyone. This will go out everywhere and the opportunities will be there. We really need to educate people. There's so many opportunities that they do not know about, and that
Yeah,
includes all the schools everywhere. I'm big into workforce
yeah.
development, and so this is really one of my special special give backs. I want people to see the
Mhm.
opportunities and see things that they don't normally hear about. So you're such a great role model and such a great example for people. And I thank you
Oh,
so much.
thank
Such a pleasure, Halima. I wish you all the best in your
you.
career and in your future. And thanks so much for sharing such great opportunities for everyone here.
Thank you very much for having me. I look forward to seeing everybody on July 11th at Rochdale Community Center for a great event.
Thank you again. Nice meeting you and talking with you. Take care.
So, please, thank you.